It's 22.
Good evening. Welcome to this meeting of Westminster's Mayor and Common Council. The council meets here at City Hall on the second and fourth Mondays of every month. Please note that council meetings, although open to the public here at City Hall, are also available and streamed live on the city's YouTube page, as well as the Community Media Center channel and website. Now we'll begin as we do every meeting with the pledge of the flag, followed by a moment of silence. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. I'd like to ask anybody who has a cell phone or any other electronic device that might go off or somehow disturb the meeting, or should do the same thing, to please silence them at this time. Thank you for your cooperation. We appreciate it. Copies of tonight's agenda and the entire information packet that the council will be using are available on online on the city's website, and copies of the agenda for tonight's meeting are also available here in the front of the room for those who are with us in the room. I have a statement to make for the record about the closed meeting of Monday, April 14th, 2025. In accordance with the general provisions article section 3-306 C2 of the Annotated Code of Maryland, and without objection, it is noted that the minutes of tonight's meeting reflect that the Common Council met in a closed meeting Monday, April 14th, 2025 at 7:47 p.m. pursuant to general provisions article section 3-305 B1 to discuss the appointment, employment, assignment, promotion, discipline, demotion, compensation, removal, resignation, or performance evaluation of appointees, employees, or other officials over whom this public body has jurisdiction, and the other personal matter that affects one or more specific individuals. The motion to close the meeting was made by Mr. Cavacci, seconded by Ms. Gilbert. The vote to close the meeting was unanimous. The following staff members attended this meeting: City Administrator Impulse and Ms. Therese Brown. The Common Council took official action during the meeting. Closed meeting adjourned at 8:30 p.m. Now we've got a bunch of fun things to do before we get the meeting started. First thing is really isn't that fun, but it's important, and we want to take a moment tonight. We have a longtime member of the city's team from our police department retiring, after a long and distinguished career. I said a little earlier, while it may not be that anybody's really truly irreplaceable, it's going to take us a very long time to grow another Jeff Schuster. And we were really going to miss him, and we're pleased to have him here with us tonight. I want to let Councilman Tony Cavacci, as the chair of our Public Safety Committee, say a few words, and then we'll toss it to the chief.
Thanks, Mr. President. I just wanted to comment briefly for everyone. Like you said, losing Jeff is going to be an enormous loss for the city. He has done an unbelievable job building that department into what it is today, where anytime there's a serious incident that requires detective work, I don't think there's ever any doubt in any of our minds that that case is getting closed, or if it's not going to get closed, nobody could ever possibly close it because Jeff's as good as there is. I would go as far as saying, I've said this publicly before, I think we've got the best detective in the region. I mean, it doesn't seem like there's anybody else that does a job at the level we do. And there's other departments I think that would, agree with that, because one of them is gobbling you up actually. So, and fortunately you're not going very far. So you're still actually going to be providing services to our citizens in your new role, just slightly different. So we're very grateful for that. But you are as good as it gets at your job, which is a pretty impressive thing. I can only hope to be as good at what I do as what you were, what you did. And I'm sure you can continue doing that for the state's attorney. So we're going to miss you. I think you've built a good team. Hopefully that will continue on. Luckily, we've got other good leadership that I'm sure is going to keep that going, but you've done one hell of a job. Thank you. Absolutely. Chief, did you want to say anything, or you good?
Well, I think you hit the nail on the head, Councilman Cavacci. I can tell you that
When we did have serious crime, then I was called out on it, and I was very comforted when Captain Schuster would show up because I knew it was going to get handled correctly. I knew the competence and the investigative ability was there, and that made me, as the chief, rest a little easier, even under the not ideal circumstances. So Captain Schuster worked with our police department, for those of you who don't know, for 20 years. Prior to that, he was with the Hampstead Police Department for 5, and then 3 years with the Baltimore City Police Department before that. So he's had a pretty distinguished career. So I want to publicly thank Cap Schuster.
Thank you.
Captain, you want to say anything?
I normally don't write things down, so I wrote this down, so it's not gonna be easy. And I realize the mayor's not here this evening, but good evening, Mayor Becker, members of the city council, Chief Ledwell, Ms. Imholz, colleagues, friends, and family. It is truly an honor to stand before you tonight as I mark the end of a very special chapter of my life. 20 years of police service to this incredible city. Mayor Becker and the members of the city council, I want to thank you for your leadership, your vision, unwavering support, and commitment to the citizens of Westminster, the police department, and myself. You set the tone for what it means to govern with integrity and heart. Chief Ledwell, working with you and the incredible members of our department has been one of the greatest chapters in my life. Your commitment to the citizens of Westminster and our department is an experience I will never forget. Thank you for having the confidence and supporting me through our 10 years together. It has truly been an honor and a privilege. Ms. Imholz, thank you for your guidance, your steady hand, and your constant dedication to efficiency, transparency, and service. Your support made it possible for so many of us to succeed in our roles. And to my colleagues, across all departments, you've become more than coworkers. You've become friends and family to me. And last but not least, my family. My wife Cindy and sons Alex and Jared. To thank the three of you for your love and support over 20 years is not enough. You knew how important my career was to me, and were always understanding when I was gone because of work or had to leave a function to respond to a scene. Through it all, we stayed close, supported each other, and now that I'm retiring, you're going to wish I was at work. I could not ask for more caring, loving family. I love you both. Love you all. Thank you all from the bottom of my heart for trusting me, challenging me, and for allowing me to serve this great city.
Captain, thank you for all you've done for the city. And Pegasus, the only way we can really thank the United States, you don't have to stay for the
Thank you.
And I know, I just want to add that Mayor Becker is very sorry. She's not feeling well, and she's very sorry that she's not here to be with us for this. She didn't feel it, seemed to get some. Move on now, we've got a lot of other exciting presentations here, so I'm going to fill in for the mayor to do some of these. So I'm going to come down here to the spot where the mayor usually does these things from. Okay. So first we're going to talk about the Celtic Cantor. Celtic Cantor is an annual event held in downtown Westminster to celebrate St. Patrick's Day. Founded by Dr. Patrick Gallagher, who's with us here tonight, as well as Lourdes Irish Pub, one of our fine city dining establishments. This running festival has expanded significantly in collaboration with the city of Westminster, now attracting a remarkable 1,000 participants. It's evolved into a vibrant community occasion distinguished by an array of accompanying activities. Beyond the race itself, the festival features live entertainment, Irish and Celtic themed vendors, engaging children's activities. Of course, it wouldn't be an Irish festival without a whiskey tasting, and a lively pub crawl. The event's success has enabled substantial contributions to the community, with proceeds benefiting 3 local charities. These organizations, in turn, provide nearly 1,000 volunteers who play a pivotal role in supporting the event's staffing and logistics. This evening, we're privileged to extend donations from this event to Access Carroll, Target Community and Educational Services, and the Crossroads Community Church. So as I said, present with us is one of our founders, Dr. Gallagher, who will assist with the presentation of these checks. Dr. Gallagher, if you want to come on up. Yep. You've got the checks. Great. And we're going to sort of do them out, but first, would you like to say anything?
Oh, thank you. I'd like to thank the city and their support of this event. We started this in 2011 when my wife and I began this and went to Dave Johansson and presented this idea. The first year we had 179 people come out for the event. We had over 1,345, right? Abby was the registration this year. So it's a growing event. We had more vendors than we've ever had. We had great weather, a lot of energy, a lot of excitement for this event, which was really great to see. So I appreciate the city's support, the police support, Abby and her team. Couldn't do it without Abby and her team at all. So thank you very much. And I'm proud to be a part of it and all the things that it does for the charitable organizations and for downtown. So thank you.
Thank you very much. All right. So let's give out some money. So the first check goes to our friends at Target Community and Educational Services. And here to accept the check is Dr. Matthew Ramsey, President and CEO, accompanied by Ms. Rachel Boone of Target, of Target Community and Educational Services. Come on up. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Sure.
Good to see you. Good to see you.
Got another camera here. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. And thank you for all the great work you do. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yep.
We'd like to invite Steph Albright, Director of Missions at the Crossroads Community Church, to join us as well. Thanks so much. Now, before you go, I have to say that we love Crossroads because they sponsor probably the most exciting part. The rigorous, challenging race known as the 0.5K. And I'm proud to say that every year since its inception, the mayor and council have participated, and we've all crossed the finish line together. Except Mr. Hoff likes to go across and then come back and then go back.
That's fun times.
But thank you so much for doing it. It's a lot of fun. We enjoy it. And unfortunately, Access Carroll is the other recipient. They couldn't be with us here tonight, but we thank them for the great work that they do in the community as well, and look forward to sharing their check with them at another time. So we extend our heartfelt gratitude to these organizations for their extraordinary contributions to our community. Their volunteerism and dedication profoundly enrich the lives of many, and we trust that these donations will further support their essential work. So thank you all, and thank you again, Dr. Gallagher. This is a great idea. I gotta go.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you. Take the money and run. Take the money and run. There you go. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
I have a few proclamations to lead as well on behalf of the mayor. I'd like to do those. The first is National Preservation Month. Whereas historic preservation is an effective tool for managing growth and sustainable development, revitalizing neighborhoods, fostering local pride, and maintaining community character while enhancing livability. And whereas historic preservation is relevant for communities across the nation, both urban and rural, and for Americans of all ages, all walks of life, and all ethnic backgrounds. And whereas everyone has places that are important to them, places they care about, places that matter. Harnessing the power of place is the national campaign of the National Trust for Historic Preservation that encourages people to celebrate the places that are meaningful to them and to their communities. And whereas it is important to celebrate the role of history in our lives and the contributions made by dedicated individuals in helping to preserve the tangible aspects of the heritage that has helped us, shaped us as a people. And now therefore, I, Dr. Mona Becker, Mayor of the City of Westminster, do proclaim May 2025 as National Preservation Month in the City of Westminster and call upon the people of Westminster to join their fellow citizens across the United States in recognizing and participating in this special observance. And to join me to receive this, I'd like to invite Dr. Chris McMasters.
Can I call on a little help?
You can, please.
I'm calling from beyond. This is Patrick Henry.
I bid you a hearty good evening.
And he's coming to help us because 250 years ago, about a fortnight ago, there was a little skirmish in the colony of Massachusetts, Lexington and Concord, and I do have great appreciation. The acting Burgess of Town of Winchester is here, helping us kick off our 250th anniversary celebrations. So let's ring it in. And thank you very much.
Thank you. And thank you, I'm gonna say Chris McMasters does a great job leading our Historic District Commission, and they do really important work here in the city. So here we go, so here's our proclamation. Should we get Patrick Henry?
You don't actually know what this is? It's a magic box.
One more with this one.
Right, thank you, thank you very much.
And I'll take my phone and escape with my magic box.
Thank you.
Chris, open the door, I'm gonna spare you reciting the Night by the Corner here, which I can do. Because I used to read it to my daughter all the time. So the next one we have is a proclamation on the 56th Annual Professional Municipal Clerks Week. We have in the city of Westminster, we are fortunate to have the best city clerk in the state. And that is well known across the state. I've been to municipal league events across the state, and all the other clerks follow Doug around like little ducklings. So he go to these events, he has his accolades, and he's like the Yoda of the municipal clerks. So Doug, thanks very much for your great contribution. We have a proclamation here as well. Whereas the office of the professional municipal clerk, time-honored and vital part of local government, exists throughout the world. And whereas the office of professional municipal clerk is the oldest profession among public servants. And whereas the office of the professional municipal clerk provides a professional link between the citizens, the local governing bodies, and agencies of government at other levels. And whereas professional municipal clerks have pledged to be ever mindful of their neutrality and impartiality, rendering equal service to all. And whereas the professional municipal clerk serves as the information center on functions of local government and community. And whereas professional municipal clerks continually strive to enhance professional development through participation in education programs, seminars, workshops, and the annual meeting of their state, county, and international professional organizations. And whereas it is most appropriate that we recognize the accomplishments of the Office of the Professional Municipal Clerk. Now therefore, I, Dr. Mona Becker, Mayor of the City of Westminster, on behalf of the Common Council, recognize the week of May 4th, 2025 through May 10th, 2025 to be Professional Municipal Clerk Week in Westminster, and further extend appreciation to our professional municipal clerk, Douglas Barber, and to all the professional municipal clerks for the vital services they perform and their exemplary dedication to the communities they represent. Doug, thanks very much. It's off. Yeah. This one. Thank you. Yeah.
Great, we have someone here for the next one.
Yes.
Court.
And last but not least, we have one more, and we have a member of our great public works team here to receive it. So this recognizes, that's done. Did I give you one? It's a special clerk.
You did.
I'm sorry. Oh, no, see, I didn't, and I even had my clerk there to help me, and I screwed it up. Here we go. No, wait, wait. Recognizing National Public Works Week 2025. Whereas public works services provided in the city of Westminster are an integral part of our residents' everyday lives, and whereas the services provided by the Westminster Public Works Department staff include utility maintenance, snow plowing, water treatment and distribution, sewage treatment, street repairs, facility maintenance, and repair of city equipment. And whereas the health, safety, comfort, and quality of life of the Westminster community greatly depends on these services. And whereas the quality and effectiveness of these services, as well as their planning, design, and implementation, is vitally dependent on the efforts and skill of the city's public works employees. And whereas the mayor and common council wish to publicly salute the services and contributions of the employees of the Westminster Public Works Department. Now therefore, I, Dr. Mona Becker, mayor of the city of Westminster, in conjunction with the common council, do hereby proclaim May 18th through 24th, 2025, is National Public Works Week in the city of Westminster. And be it further proclaimed that all residents are encouraged to join the mayor and common council in commemorating this observance by thanking the members of the Public Works Department, past and present, for their dedicated service to the city of Westminster and for their efforts to maintain and enhance the quality of life in the Westminster community. We have Corey Sofer from our Public Works Department. Corey, thanks very much for representing the department here tonight and for your leadership in the department. Thank you, sir. So here we go. We got a proclamation.
I could get one for Tiffany.
Okay.
Okay.
One for Tiffany.
Okay, ooh, that's great. Okay.
Thanks. Thanks very much. You want to say anything on behalf of the Public Works team?
We'd just like to thank the mayor and council for their support and Ms. Imhoff for her leadership.
Very good. All right. Thanks very much.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks very much. Right, let's see, before we get off of this section of the agenda, one more thing we'd like to do. Something we've been very pleased about over the last few years is our growing partnership and relationship with McDaniel College. Dr. Julia Jaskin took over as president of the college. She made a commitment that we would have somebody as often as possible here at our meetings from her senior leadership team to share with us a little bit about what's going on up on the Hill and to take back to her team what was happening here in the city. So we're pleased tonight to have Mr. David Sears, Vice President of Institutional Advancement at the college, to be our guest this evening and to say a few words. Mr. Sears, thanks for coming.
Thank you. I'll give you a quick update on the college, give you 5 important things that you should know. First of all, enrollment's very promising for the fall of 2025. We are on target to have at least 450 undergraduate students coming, so the college is in great shape on its enrollment. Second is we have 10 facility projects underway in various stages of design and construction. Ones that are most important to the city are the project of renovating the nursing facilities up at the hospital so that our nursing program will do a lot of their curriculum and lab work there. So that's underway. Our track is being renovated, which will have a lot of community use as well. That project actually is supposed to start on Monday. So if you want to get a piece of the old yellow track, let me know and I can share that with you. Third, Harvey Stone Pavilion, which some of you may or may not know is a beautiful outdoor facility, which is also available for community use. Once it's completed, that project actually is underway at the moment with a goal of having it done by the fall.
Drank a lot of beer there when I was in high school.
And then our Learning Commons, which is our one-stop shop for student services in our Hoover Library on the first floor, that is being renovated and should be available also in the fall. Two other pieces of note. One is the one that I deal with the most, which is the colleges had a record fundraising year. We're currently at 22.3 million raised. Last year, we raised 8 million. What that means for you is there's more experiential learning opportunities for students in the city. There's more scholarships for Carroll County residents to attend McDaniel College. And then obviously we're able to do the facility renovations that we just described. And then on a final note, and I wish Captain Schuster was here. I wanted to just note Captain Schuster was phenomenal in dealing with the unexpected death of one of our students that we knew personally. He was a track teammate of my son. And Captain Schuster and the other detective were absolutely phenomenal working with the family the entire day that they were there. So a credit to you and your team, and particularly Captain Schuster for doing it. So thank you for the time.
Thank you very much, Mr. Stu. We appreciate it. Once again, thanks to Dr. Jaskin for having someone here.
Will do.
The next item on our agenda is, we're going to do a budget presentation. I'm sorry. I'll skip over that one. All right.
Fine with me if we skip over it.
So next, we're going to do a presentation on the fiscal year 26 budget from City Administrator Imholz in advance of the council's deliberations on the budget over the next few weeks. Ms. Imholz, thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. On behalf of the mayor, I'm very proud to present the fiscal year 26 budget. Next slide. I'd like to start from the very beginning of why we're doing what we're doing and remind everyone what the vision statement is for the city of Westminster. And I'm going to read it. It's on the screen as well. Westminster is a safe, healthy, and engaged community where new ideas and sustainable innovation enhance the community's quality of life and create economic opportunities for today's residents and future generations. This vision is what we create the budget off of. All of the programs that we do, all the money that we spend is based off of building towards this vision statement. Next slide. Every year since I have been here, the council has convened to review our strategic plan. The strategic plan for the city has 5 critical success factors. They are as follows: strong partnership and engaged communities, water and sewer capacity for future generations, economic activity and growth, responsible stewardship of city resources, and a safe and livable community. These are the items that we've built the operating and the CIP budget around. Next slide. For those that are new to the budget process, the city has 6 funds that we operate out of. The general fund is the city's core services and administrative functions. The public housing fund is where we operate the Public Housing Authority for the Housing Choice Venture Program. The Capital Projects Fund is the account for all of our capital improvement program or CIP activities. The Water Fund is where we fund all of the production, treatment, and distribution of potable water. The Sewer Fund is where we operate out of for collection and delivery of sewage for treatment and disposal at the water reclamation facility. And our Fiber Fund is where we operate construction and operation from the Westminster Fiber Network. Next slide. The general fund is primarily made up of property taxes. That's where we receive our revenue from. The real property in Maryland is assessed on a triennial basis by the State Department of Assessment and Taxation, or SDAT. Westminster is in the 2nd year of that 3-year assessment cycle. The city's net assessable base in fiscal year 26 increased by approximately 148.9 million, or 7.5% from the prior year. And that increase is the result of higher assessments from the reassessment cycle, as well as new properties being added to the tax roll when we annex properties. Next slide. There are a few budget drivers that we want to discuss for fiscal year 26. The first and probably most important to everyone is that there's no change in the real property tax rate. So for the 13th year in a row, the fiscal year 26 real property tax rate will be 56 cents for every $100 of assessable property. The water and sewer rates will increase 3.5% for the water rates and 5% for the sewer rates. And just as a reminder, I know everyone's already aware of this, but the consumer price index increased 3% from January 2024 to January 2025. Next slide. Here are the numbers for the fiscal year 26 budget. As you can see, with the exception of the housing fund, there's an excess in revenue for all of our funds over what our projected expenditures are. These numbers are located in the ordinance, which will be introduced tonight. Next slide. Well, there's some costs that are baked into the fiscal year 26 operating budget that we have no control over, and they are outlined here in the benefits. So the health insurance has increased, it will increase 11.5%, which is a decrease in the increase we had in 2025. So in 2025, that rate went up 14%. This year it's going up 11.5%, which is a little bit less than before, but still going up. The pension contribution rate for non-sworn staff, we're seeing a 10% increase than over last year. The LEOPS contribution rate, which is for the sworn law enforcement pension, we're seeing a 4.1% increase over what we had last year. There's no change to the dental, vision, life, short-term disability or long-term disability rates. We're estimating a 16% increase in the workers' compensation rate, renewal rates, and a 10% increase in the general insurance rates. Next slide. We are excited about the CIP, as we always are. We have a robust CIP this year, which includes the following highlights. We, as everyone knows, we are responsible for the Carroll Arts Council building. And so we have planned for some upgrades to door hardware, which are very expensive these days. We've also got design and engineering to upgrade the existing trails at Wakefield, completion of phase 2 play equipment at Tahoma Farm Park, pickleball courts at King Park, bocce ball courts at City Park. We're continuing on with the many efforts of the city and the infiltration and inflow system improvements. We have a few roof replacements planned at the water plant and the water reclamation plant. And we continue on with our enhanced nutrient removal project, that's the ENR project, as well as our beloved water reuse project, which will continue construction this year. Next slide. I want to take a moment to thank the staff, including our city attorney and the finance committee for their time and attention in helping us prepare the fiscal year 26 budget. Mr. President, that concludes my presentation.
Thank you, Ms. Imholz. Let me just say, as chair of the finance committee, first of all, I want to thank Ms. Imholz and Ms. Rogers and the rest of the staff, the department heads, for all their hard work in bringing us, a thoughtful series of budget requests that advance the city's needs and our mission. And we're glad to be able to work with them and do this together. She's not here because, as I said earlier, she's not feeling well, but I want to thank Mayor Becker in particular for her leadership over the last year. He's, managing the city's, finances and resources is not an easy thing. And we thank Mayor Becker for her leadership as she's been doing her job over the past year and helping to make all this possible. As Ms. Imholz said, it's a balanced budget, which we're required by law to provide every year, and we do that. As she also pointed out, there is no tax rate increase once again, which is very important. We have modest increases in the water and sewer rates, which are the result of a study that we did a few years ago, which we're acting upon, which allows us to manage the costs of providing water and sewer services to not just the people of Westminster, but the people of surrounding communities, both for the operating and the capital needs of the system. It's expensive to provide those services, and we do our best to do that in an efficient way. And we've also managed to move forward with some big projects. We continue to benefit from the fiber network that our citizens have got a lot of value out of over the few years. As Imholz mentioned, we are in the process of completing the ENR project, one of the biggest construction projects the city, if not the biggest project the city's ever taken on. And a new one that we're beginning, our water reuse project, which is going to provide the city of Westminster safe and reliable water sources run into the future, something that we don't have. at the moment. And we are doing this not just with the resources that we get from our citizens, but I want to especially compliment the staff, Ms. Impulse's leadership. We're doing a great job of helping us find secure money from other sources, federal, state, and county, help supplement the city's resources. We wouldn't be able to do this at the rates we are doing them without that support. And it's because of the hard work that they do in going out and finding those funds that we're able to do that. So I think that's critical as well. So on behalf of the Finance Committee, I'm very pleased that we're able to present this budget to our colleagues here and forward to discussing it for the next few weeks. Mr. Kavachi is also a member of the Finance Committee. Do you have anything you'd like to add, Mr. Kavachi?
You said it all, Mr. President.
All right, very good. Thank you. All right. So we'll move on now. The next item on the agenda is a public hearing. Normally, public hearings in the city of Westminster are conducted by the mayor, but since the mayor is not with us, I'll lead the meeting. And so I'm now calling to order this public hearing on ordinance number 2025-04, local map amendment LMA 25-02. Note that the time is 7:36 p.m. This public hearing has been properly published in the Carroll County Times, meeting all state prevailing requirements. This is an ordinance of the Mayor and Common Council approving local zoning map amendment LMA 25-02, designating certain real property located in the city of Westminster's IR restricted industrial zone and floating cannabis overlay zone for the establishment of a cannabis processor. And we'll begin with a staff report from Mr. Depot, our Director of Planning and Community Work.
Thank you and good evening. WHR Holdings LLC is requesting approval to apply the Cannabis Overlay District through the local map amendment LMA 2502 on property referenced in the staff report that is currently zoned IR restricted industrial zone for the establishment of a cannabis processor. Ordinance 2025-04, if approved, would adopt LMA 2502 and rezone the portion of tenant space identified as Suite 8 at Unit 8 of the condominium plat Ilarion 4 condominium, Plat Book 48, page 274, to allow for the operation of a cannabis processing use. Although the floating cannabis overlay district would be applied to Suite 8, the property including Suite 8 are still subject to the underlying IR restricted industrial zone regulations, as well as the cannabis overlay district regulations. On March 10th, 2025, the Mayor and Common Council introduced ordinance 2025-04 and referred this ordinance to the Planning and Zoning Commission for its review and recommendation to the Mayor and Common Council. On April 17th, 2025, the Planning and Zoning Commission held a public hearing on ordinance 2025-04. The commission closed the public hearing and forwarded a recommendation to approve the ordinance to the Mayor and Common Council as introduced. The Mayor and Common Council notice for a public hearing for ordinance 2025-04 was advertised on March 26, 2025, which was 33 days prior to the hearing, and April 2nd, 2025, in the Carroll County Times pursuant to zoning ordinance section 164-185A. I would like to point out there were some amendments to the staff report. The very first paragraph, there was some punctuation amendments, but nothing substantive was changed. And the dates provided for both the public hearings for the Planning and Zoning Commission and the Mayor and Common Council had the right date, the wrong year. It stated 2024, not 2025. We met these requirements. I just put the wrong year down, but they did happen in 2025. With that, the Department of Community Planning Development recommend that the Mayor and Common Council approve ordinance 2025-04, adopting local map amendment LMA 2502 to designate certain real property located in the IR restricted industrial zone as a floating cannabis overlay zone for the establishment of a cannabis processor as introduced on March 10th, 2025, and provided in attachment 1 of this report. And I'm available for any questions.
Thank you, Mr. Depot.
Thanks.
Does anybody have any questions for Mr. Depot at this time? All right, hearing none. We'll invite the general public. Is there anybody who wishes to be heard on this subject tonight? All right. Seeing no one interested in testifying, we will close the public hearing at 7:39 PM. Thank you very much. Right. Next item is approval of minutes. We have minutes from the meeting of the Mayor and Common Council on April 14th, 2025, and the closed session of the same date. May I have a motion to approve the minutes?
Motion to approve.
The motion to approve the minutes. Your second?
Second.
A motion by Mr. Dayhoff and a second by Ms. Gilbert. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say nay. The ayes seem to have it, the ayes have it, and the motion is approved. Next item is the consent calendar. We have 7 items on the consent calendar. May I have a motion to approve the consent calendar?
Motion to approve.
A motion by Mr. Dayhoff. Is there a second?
I'll make a second.
The second by Mr. Hoff. All those in favor of approving the consent calendar, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say nay. The ayes seem to have it, the ayes have it, and the consent calendar is approved. Report from the mayor. The mayor did give me a report she asked me to share with all of you. Let me just pull that up here. Here we go. Not very long. I'm sorry I cannot be there this evening. I have not been feeling well, and I think the mayor is actually watching, so I'm not sure. First of all, I would like to thank our finance director, city administrator, Ms. Imholz, and Ms. Krista Gardner for their work on this year's budget. Their hard work was evidenced in the finance committee meetings leading up to the council meeting this evening. The city's commitment to our 5 critical success factors, strong partnerships, an engaged community, water, and sewer capacity for future generations, economic activity and growth, responsible stewardship of city resources, and a safe and livable community are all on display. I would also like to thank Teresa Rogers and the other department heads and staff for their important role in putting the budget together. It's been a quiet 2 weeks since our last meeting. Thanks to everyone who helped put together an amazing wine stroll. The rain held off, and by the end of the day, there was quite a bit of sun poking through the clouds. It was wonderful to talk to all the volunteers and staff who were working the event. And as always, there was never a trash can overflowing or litter on the streets. Thank you, Streets Department. Thank you to the Recreation and Parks Department for turning around the wine stroll and in about 2 weeks hosting the Flower and Jazz Festival on May 10th. And that's it for the mayor. Next item on the agenda is reports from committees. We'll begin with our liaison to the Arts Council, Mr. Dayhoff.
Thank you, Mr. President. The Peep Show was a resounding success. Brought a lot of folks to town and a lot of amazing exhibits. And we really appreciate the Arts Council being included in the budget. We've needed that doorway hardware upgrade for quite some time, and we really appreciate it. That would be my report, Mr. President.
All right, thank you, Mr. Dayhoff. Economic and Community Development Committee, Mr. Hoff.
Nothing to report tonight, Mr. President.
Thank you, Mr. Hoff. On behalf of the Finance Committee, I will just say that the budget has landed on everyone's desks, and we look forward to that conversation, as we said earlier, and nothing more needs to be said about that right now. I have no report on behalf of the Personnel Committee. Public Safety, Mr. Kavachi.
Thank you, Mr. President. On April 16th, the Westminster Police Department held their annual awards ceremony. I believe most of us were there. I know 1 or 2 of you had to miss it, but it was a nice ceremony as always. There were several awards, including Police Officer of the Year, Officer Melissa Piaras, Supervisor of the Year, Detective Sergeant Richard Lambert, Civilian Employee of the Year, Ms. Jennifer Quick. Additionally, several officers received life-saving awards, commendations, unit citations, and a Catherine's Cause Award. The Walmart manager, Patrick Cochran, received the Community Partnership Award, and Auxiliary Police Officer Glenn Matthews was awarded the Volunteer of the Year Award. On April 23rd, Corporal Jesse Claggett was designated the Westminster Police Department Police Officer of the Quarter, and the Communications Supervisor Lisa Huntersmark was designated the Civilian Employee of the Quarter for their outstanding performance during the first quarter of 2025. That is the conclusion of my report, Mr. President.
Thank you, Mr. Kavachi. Public Works, Ms. Gilbert.
Yes, with everyone here and everyone listening to be aware that the milling and paving on Pennsylvania Avenue is scheduled to begin Monday, May 5th. The work will take approximately 2 weeks. The plan is to start milling on one side of the road at Main Street and work northbound toward Route 140. Once the crew reaches Monroe Street, they will begin paving that same lane. After that, they will return to Main Street to begin milling the opposite lane and follow the same process. Once paving is complete from Main to Monroe, they will then continue by milling the northbound lane from Monroe to the city limits and repeat the process until the project is complete. That is Public Works, and I can go right on into
Would you
Parks
please?
and Rec. So 2 recent events occurred at Wakefield Valley Park recently, since we just had Earth Day. And so one of the events marked Earth Day and the City Nature Challenge celebration. On April 22nd, the Wakefield Wildlings Preschool Adventure celebrated Earth Day from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. Participants enjoyed a scenic walk, gathering natural materials along the way, which the children used to craft and decorate mud cakes. I bet their moms and dads were so excited for them to return. The program concluded with a heartfelt rendition of Happy Birthday, Mother Earth. Approximately 12 children and 7 adults joined in on the fun. On Thursday, April 24th, from 5 to 7 p.m., the City Nature Challenge kickoff party offered the iNaturalist training and information about the event, along with engaging activities such as dip netting, bird watching 101, and plant identification walks. The City Nature Challenge invites residents and visitors to document urban biodiversity using the iNaturalist app. It runs for 3 days and concludes today, April 28th. And just to remind everyone, a big future event coming up very shortly will be the Flower and Jazz Fest on May 10th from 10 a.m. till 4.
Very good, thank you. Next item on the agenda is the Technology Committee. Mr. Dayhoff, anything you want to share tonight?
Sure, just a brief remark. My colleagues have asked me to convene a meeting sometime soon. We're looking forward to an after-action report on how technology worked or didn't work, an after-action report on the disaster plan. The recovery, the amazing recovery for the water restoration that occurred. A number of years ago when I was on the board of the PMNL, disaster recovery was a prominent concern and lots of discussion. And I think we did it extraordinarily well, but we'll look forward to an after-action report. Cybersecurity continues to be an amazing concern for everyone, and we're going to look forward to a report on how it is that we're doing with cybersecurity. And then Windows 11 has its headaches. At some point in time, I might bend your ear a little bit about some of the nuances of Windows 11 now that I've upgraded a portion of my equipment to Windows 11. Thank you. That'll be my report, Mr. President. If any of my colleagues have any technology concerns, please convey them to me, and we'll look forward to that meeting. That'll be exciting. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Mr. I don't like the new Outlook. Can you do something about that?
The new,
The new
oh
Outlook.
my word, don't,
Something about that.
no, this is a family meeting. I don't want to, I don't want to share my feelings about Windows 11.
I'm okay with the rest of this, but like the new Outlook. Move on to ordinances and resolutions. First item is adoption of ordinance 2025
Mr. President, yes, no.
Oh, I'm sorry. You guys really want to do that?
I
think the bottom of it.
because there's like 2 or 3 of us.
All right. Council comments and discussion. Apologize. At the bottom of the page.
They got 2 of you.
This is the opportunity for council members to share their thoughts, or anything else they'd like to mention on items that are not elsewhere on the agenda. Mr. Kavacci.
Great mind stroll, that's it. Thanks, Mr. President.
Thank you, Mr. Kavacci. Mr. Dayhoff.
I also really enjoyed the wine stroll, and I also really enjoyed the police award ceremony. It's fascinating to learn the statistics, and it's great to see the officers are awarded for their performance. I really appreciate it. I want to mention the boardwalk. I have been inundated in the last couple of weeks about our boardwalk. In full,
Not our boardwalk.
well, in full disclosure, when I was chair of the Environmental Affairs Advisory Board for the county, I proposed that walkway, and I got a federal grant for it, and the commissioners decided to turn down the federal grant for that walkway, and so I'm really happy to see it. As for the boardwalk itself, I think it's pretty cool. I like an anomaly like that, but I want to make sure that the public is aware that it is not a city project. It is not. It's a project of the State Highway Administration. And of course, the State Highway Administration is always overly communicative. So we were, we appreciated learning about the boardwalk along with everyone else on Facebook.
Not everyone, Mr. Day.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Everyone except for my colleague. And then I'm still curious about the BG&E work on Main Street. Do we have any update on that?
Yes,
Great. May we have it now, Mr. President?
Ms. Imhoff is ready to share.
I am ready to
Oh,
share.
we're
Thank you.
ready to listen.
Thank you for asking. So BG&E has decided that they are not ready for their project at all, and so they're gonna put it off for some time period. So we're gonna begin our paving project in the meantime. We're working on some details about what will be required of them whenever they decide that they're ready. In all honesty, the engineering, the truth of the matter is that the engineering that they did some time ago, as you well know, engineering takes a while. It happens way before a construction project begins. That was based on the old water lines on Main Street, which we've now replaced. And we replaced the water lines where they were gonna do some of the work. And so they need to go back to the drawing board at the very beginning and redo some of their engineering, because we are in their way now, quite literally. However, we don't want them to come in and start as soon as we finish paving, which sometimes happens. So we're working on a document to require them with certain requirements to say, if you intend to come back within this period of time, you'll need to follow the following requirements, which would involve repaving the parts that we just repaved. Hopefully, they're not gonna do that. They intend to wait quite a bit longer, because they think it's gonna take a while to start that process all over. So that's where we are.
Mr. President, a follow-up question?
Sure.
Do we need to take a look at our utility cut ordinance? Mr. Pecoraro and I were on council when we brought that forward. And I think it's really, a really important ordinance, and I wonder if we need to up, because this is 25 years old at this point in time.
We can certainly take a look at
Yeah,
that.
let's, yes, sir.
So we'll let the Public Works Committee have that conversation
That'll be-
with Ms. Imhoff and the rest of the team.
That would be great. And I'm a budget nerd. I really appreciated the budget presentation. You read my mind by sending us out the presentation, because I was going to ask that it be sent out. And I am really looking forward to getting in and looking at the budget. I really super appreciate it. And I think that'll be my report, Mr. President. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Imhoff. Ms. Slowik.
I wanted to just congratulate all the officers from the Westminster Police Department who received their awards. I know Councilman Clark, she already took care of that as it's the public safety report. On April 19th, Billy Live hosted a wonderful egg sighting egg hunt. It was the following Saturday, so it was great to have two egg hunts in Westminster, one that the Westminster City sponsored, and then Billy and Find Your Purpose did another great job with their event. Along with that, the following weekend, the Republican Women of Carroll County held a brunch on April 26th, honoring Delegate Susan Krebs at the Fireside. Location was amazing, and the ladies who organized the event did a wonderful job with the brunch. And I wanted to just congratulate Susan for her dedication to our community as well as the state. And a thank you to all the staff who worked the wine stroll. I spent the day at the domestics tent helping serve sangria and drinks, and a great reminder that I am not a bartender. Because apparently I enjoyed listening to the music far more than serving drinks. A few times people had to tapped me on my shoulder going, "Excuse me, I'd like a drink." And here I am listening to the band. Otherwise, it was great. It was great. And I also wanted to comment on our employees. Not only did they get up extremely early to help our Parks and Recs department set up, probably even the night before, but also that morning. And then they're there taking down the events, but they're also even working through the entire event. So just a shout out and a thank you to all the folks and their dedication to our city. And then on Sunday, April 27th, Magic hosted their first Lego League and Gear Freaks expo at Eric. And it was just a really heartwarming and enjoyable. I was only there for maybe 30 minutes, but those little kids, ages 6 to 10, even like the 6-year-olds were like so excited to talk about their little robotics. And I'm looking at it going, "You created that?" Like, I was just in awe. So the expo brought together the community, celebrated the accomplishments of all these little guys and kids and middle schoolers. And it was a great way that our community is supporting STEM throughout Carroll County. That is all I have.
All right, thank you. George? Sean?
Yes, Mr. President. I just wanted to mention, as a resident who regularly buys, the VIP tables to the strolls, I am just always amazed at what a great job you guys do and continually refining things. I noticed this year we didn't have the individual tickets. Absolutely love that. We had a wristband instead, because normally my friends and I take about 15 minutes dividing up all the tickets and then trying to find them for, the different booths. So just having that armband was wonderful, and the lanyard. And the other thing I will say is we ended up hanging out at the tables right till the very end. And I'm just so impressed what a well-oiled machine everyone is with cleanup, because literally we're walking down Main Street from Locust Lane, and it's like literally everything's folding in on itself as we're walking down the street. And it just the speed at which you guys move to reopen the streets is just impressive. So I really commend everyone involved with that from a staff standpoint, because I know that goes across multiple departments. So I just really wanted to express that. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Hoff. So just two things, Mr. Dayoff just noted that there's a symposium in McDaniel that Mr. Sears forgot to mention.
Oh, yes, sorry. Make that.
So if you want to do that or not, or Mr. Dayoff, somebody want to do, you want to do that?
I always really look forward to it. Is it on May 5th?
It's on May 5th, it's all day. There's a breakfast, and there's students and faculty and staff are presenting their academic research throughout the day till about 4 o'clock.
It's always a great event. I always really look forward to it. It's May 5th. Okay, thank you very much.
Sure.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Sure. And I'll just mention on the McDaniel theme that I had the opportunity last week to go speak to a class at McDaniel. Jim Kuntz invited me to speak to his class on the policy and how policy is developed and advocacy. And it's a pleasure to get to go up there and talk to his very bright students. That was a lot of fun. Enjoyed getting up there. There was on Friday, and there was a lot of activity right there right in front of Hill Hall. And so it was fun to get to go there. We'll move on now to ordinances and resolutions. We have 3 items tonight. The first is adoption of ordinance number 2025-04, an ordinance of the mayor and common council approving local zoning map amendment LMA 25-02, designating certain real property located in the city of Westminster's IR restricted industrial zone and floating cannabis overlay zone for the establishment of a cannabis processor. Mr. Depot, anything you'd like to add to what you said at the public hearing?
Nothing more to add, and again, just recommend approval of the ordinance adopting local map amendment 2502.
All right, thank you. Anybody have any questions at this time for Mr. Depot? Or, all right, let's get a motion. May I have a motion to adopt ordinance 2025-04?
Mr. President, I'll make that motion.
A motion by Mr. Hoff, is there a second?
Second.
A second by Mr. Kavachi. Any further discussion? Hearing none, we'll move on to a vote. All those in favor of adoption, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, say nay. The ayes seem to have it, the ayes have it, and the ordinance is adopted. The next item is adoption of resolution number 25-05, a resolution of the mayor and common council codifying the city's policy of non-discrimination in the provision of programs, services, or benefits. Ms. Imhoff, would you like to tell us what this is about?
Thank you, sir. The U.S. Environmental Protection Agency, or the EPA, has advised the City of Westminster to address deficiencies on a pre-award form for EPA financial assistance. The attached policy, which is in the resolution, accurately reflects the city's adherence to non-discrimination regulations for applicants and recipients of EPA financial assistance, which is in 40 CFR Parts 5 and 7. This requires no new funding. So therefore, staff recommends that the Mayor and Common Council approve the adoption of resolution number 25-05, a resolution codifying the city's policy of non-discrimination in the provision of programs, services, or benefits. That concludes the report.
Thank you, Ms. Imhoff. Well, by all means, let's correct our deficiency. We have a motion to adopt resolution number 25-05.
Mr. President, I'll make that motion.
The motion by Mr. Hoff, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Ms. Gilbert. Any further discussion? Hearing none, move on to a vote. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, say nay. The ayes seem to have it, the ayes have it, and the resolution is adopted. And now the moment we've been waiting for. Introduction of ordinance 2025-05, an ordinance of the Mayor and Common Council of Westminster, Maryland, approving and adopting a budget for the City of Westminster for the fiscal year beginning July 1st, 2025, and ending June 30th, 2026, also known as fiscal year 26, and establishing the various city tax rates for fiscal year 2026. And for that, we will call on our Director of Finance, Ms. Rogers.
Nothing to report other than to say I'm pleased to present this ordinance to you for introduction. I look forward to working with the council over the next few weeks in our working sessions on the budget.
All right, thank you very much, Ms. Rogers. We have a motion to introduce the budget ordinance.
I'll move to approve, Mr. President.
And a motion to introduce the budget amendment by Mr. Cavacci. Is there a second? The second by Ms. Gilbert.
I'm sorry, I said approve, I meant introduce.
I got you. Any discussion or any questions for Ms. Rogers at this time? Hearing none, move on to a vote. All those in favor of introduction of the ordinance, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say nay. The ayes seem to have it, the ayes have it. And ordinance number 2025-05 is introduced, and we will be discussing that over the next few weeks. There is no unfinished business of which I'm aware. Does anybody have any unfinished business to bring forward? Hearing none, move on to new business. We have one item of new business. For that, I'll call on Mr. Cavacci.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move that the Common Council adjourn into a closed meeting on Monday, April 28th, 2025, at the conclusion of the regular meeting in accordance with general provisions, article of the annotated Code of Maryland 3-305B1 to discuss the appointment, employment, assignment, promotion, discipline, demotion, compensation, removal, resignation, or performance evaluation of appointees, employees, or officials over whom this public body has jurisdiction. Any other personnel matter that affects one or more specific individuals.
Thank you, Mr. Cavacci. May I have a second?
I will second.
This motion by Mr. Cavacci to go into a closed meeting, and a second by Mr. Hoff. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say nay. The ayes seem to have it. And the motion is adopted. We will go into a closed meeting at the conclusion of the regular meeting. And now, Ms. Imhoff.
Do you intend to come back into session?
I was going to say that at the end.
Oh, sorry.
That's all right.
Cut you off.
But no, at the end of the closed session, we do not intend to return to.
Thank you, sir.
Now move on to departmental reports. Ms. Imhoff, would you like to lead those?
Thank you very much. I want to start off echoing the council's comments about our event this weekend. Our staff works so hard. They get up at ridiculous hours in the morning to get here. And you're right, Ms. Gilbert, but they are working on that the day before and the day before that. And as we all know, they were also working on weather plans and more weather plans and more weather plans. So it's a pivot group. Thankfully, they didn't have to this go round, but they planned for it just in case. So to all the staff that worked on that, who are here and listening, thank you for your help. And with that, we're going to start off with Ms. Gruber.
Yes, good evening. Thank you for your continued support of these very important downtown events. I really think that it is the signature of our community, and not only for the people that live here, but for the people that visit us. It certainly does create a memorable experience. So we do appreciate your positive comments and your continued endorsement. During the event itself, Ms. Imhoff indicated we work off many plans as we're watching the weather systems develop. But even the day of the event, as we're watching the potential for some severe weather that was going to hit us at 10 and then 2, the entire city staff was in direct communication, the police department, the public works department, and the recreation department. And we were continually devising a plan at which we would quickly and efficiently evacuate the participants on the street to safety in the event that we had to. So we never stop working those weather plans. It's always something that we're watching and hoping for the best, but preparing for the worst. And thankfully, this Saturday, we didn't have to.
Fortunately, the Westminster bubble worked in your favor.
Yes, usually it doesn't. I had a streak going there for a while. But in addition to the wine stroll, we are doing other events as well. Since our last meeting, we held the Adaptive Recreation Karaoke Party on April 16th. This was a lively evening. We had a crowd of over 50 people who sang and danced and had the best time ever in the large conference room of the city admin office building. And why I mention this is when I say, you know, everyone is involved with recreation and parks events. Everybody that works in that building puts up with us rolling in there early on a Wednesday afternoon to set up as they're still trying to conduct business. And our superstars in the IT department had to come to our rescue because, as you may guess, technology and recreation and parks don't always go hand in hand. So Rick's wonderful staff came down to assist us in making sure that all of our karaoke equipment was working as it should be, and I know they stayed late to do that. So thank you, IT, for that support. As Mayor Becker mentioned in her report, just 2 weeks away is Westminster's Flower and Jazz Festival. So we are looking forward to yet another lively day on Main Street. We're most excited this year about the addition of our Mudder's Day 5K, which is a mud run combined with a 5K, which will be held out at Wakefield Valley Park. And what is getting a lot of buzz right now is the mini Mudder Run, which is our 1 mile kids version of that mud run. So those events will kick off the morning of Flower and Jazz at 9 a.m. out at Wakefield Valley Park. And then we'll see everyone on Main Street from 10 to 4, as Ms. Gilbert indicated, for the festival, as it always is the Saturday before Mother's Day, which is usually the second Saturday in May. Lastly, I just wanted to mention, as Ms. Gilbert mentioned in her report, we had 2 recent events at Wakefield Valley Park. We are making an effort to increase our programming at that site. And I just wanted to remind everyone that we have regular walks with a naturalist out there, and those coming up during the month of May will be held on May 1st and May 15th from 11 a.m. to 12 noon at Wakefield Valley Park. That concludes my report unless there are questions.
I don't know if anybody knows, Mr. Dale might know from Ms. Brewer doesn't, which is older, Flower and Jazz or Fall Fest?
Fall Fest.
Okay. Then Flower Jazz is it's our oldest of the strolls essentially.
Yes.
Yeah, because it wasn't alcohol based.
Right.
Like the rest of them, not based, but the alcohol.
The base is fair to say.
Rest of them.
There's definitely an element of that. Thank you.
Yeah, so wine stroll and beer barbecue.
Oh, the Italian.
It will be wine.
When's the Italian festival?
July 13th.
Or 12th. Oh, July 12th.
July 12th, yes.
Come on, man.
Mr. President, I noticed that she didn't suggest that there be a 0.05 council mutters race.
I think she knows what exhausted.
Yeah, I think we're, once a year is good enough.
She's not saying you, Kevin.
If you want to raise the kid, Mr. Bayoff, you're welcome to.
Well, we've been drugged through the mud before.
Oh, sorry to drag some.
Thank you.
No worries. Hearing no other questions, we will move on to the technology department. Mr. Farr?
Status quo right now for us dealing with the day-to-day operations. We're in the middle of renewal season, so we're going through and reviewing all of our software licensing, trying to make sure we're getting the best deal we can and make sure our license represents what we need and continue to audit our services. So that's where I am right now, if you have any questions.
Hearing none, we will move on to the planning department. Mr. Depot.
Thank you. On April 17th, the Planning and Zoning Commission held a public hearing of ordinance 2025-04, which I referenced earlier tonight, as the commission forwarded its recommendation to approve the ordinance to the Mayor and Common Council. The Planning and Zoning Commission also approved the modification to the architectural features, approved the site plan S-2244 for Northeastern Supply located at 40 Magna Way. There's some elements that were not provided, some awnings were not placed in the elevations, and the Planning and Zoning Commission felt they weren't necessary for as the plan went forward. On May 6th, the Board of Zoning Appeals is scheduled to hear BZA case number 2502. This is an application requesting approval of a special exception automobile trailer and implement sales and service at 279 East Main Street. So right now it's an automobile repair shop. The tenant wants to also sell vehicles. This is the Pizza Bowley property right across the street from Amy's Laundry. So it's just an expansion right now to repair, and he also wants to provide some sales that property as well.
Limited capacity, because there's not a lot of room there, is there?
The special exception just allows them to move forward to the next stage. There is a site plan that's in the process that's showing where they're going to locate the sales. This will be limited. We're not going to have a lot of sales because there's other uses in that property as well.
Okay.
So it'll be defined as part of the site plan.
Okay.
So is that behind the that little not tobacco,
Yes, it's
whatever the heck that is there.
the back end of the building.
It's in the back end where the marble people used to be and all that.
Yeah, it's Auto ER is there now.
Okay.
It's that
makes sense. I
business.
thought maybe you were talking about fronting Main Street. That would be great.
No, the vehicles will probably be on the side, facing Amy's Laundry.
Next week, you said, Mr.
May 6th. And just as with the staff report, there was an update to the operating report from planning. We referenced a zoning determination as well as a meeting with a property owner to discuss water reconnection or new connection. And we listed 360 Woodward Road. It's actually 310 Woodward Road. And that completes my report.
Are there any questions for Mr. Depot? Hearing none, we'll move on to the finance department. I'm going to take a moment though to thank Ms. Rogers and Ms. Gardner. The budget is such an enormous undertaking. So many of the moving pieces of the budget don't arrive until right this week or last week or 3 weeks from now. And so we're making our best forecast, which changes every single day. There are just so many details involved in the budget. The spreadsheet's enormous. And Ms. Rogers took the entirety of the operating budget this year, and she's put in an enormous amount of work, strained her eyes and needs chiropractic assistance and everything else. So for that, I want to take a moment to thank her and to thank her team because she did a phenomenal job this year. Thank you, Ms. Rogers.
Thank you, Ms. Imhoff. Thank you, Mayor and Council. Good evening. As I mentioned earlier during the introduction of the budget ordinance, I just wanted to thank the Finance Committee for their work on that budget and reviewing it with us. And I do look forward to the next few weeks of working with the full council in our working sessions. It is an enormous undertaking, and I jokingly said to Ms. Imhoff that I needed an eyeball massage if that were possible. If they exist out there, a little device stream, but it's a good process this year, I think, and each year I think we improve either by large amounts or small amounts, just looking at things in more and more detail every year. So thank you, and I'm happy to answer any questions.
Hearing none, we will move on to the police department. And while I'm very sad to see Captain Schuster retire, I've always been excited for the work that he's done, but that is done in a large part because of the leadership of Chief Lowe. So I also want to take a moment to thank the chief for that. You're up, sir.
Good evening, council. Officer Dean has returned from his obligation with the Army Reserve and has started field training in the Patrol Bureau. And we're continuing to send our officers and staff to professional development training to ensure continuity of operations and leadership so that we have the next Jeff Schuster in mind and that we have the ability to fulfill all of the obligations of our department. And that's all I have. Do you have any questions for me?
Mr. President, that concludes the staff departmental reports.
All right, thank you very much, Ms. Imhoff. Last item on our agenda is citizens' comments, when we invite the public to address the mayor and council on any issues that pertain to tonight's agenda or any other city issues. For citizens not attending the public meeting, we invite you to send us your comments or concerns via email at comments@westminstermd.gov. All comments received by email will be shared with the mayor and council. We just ask that you please give us your address and phone number with your comments. Now we'll invite comments from anyone who's present this evening. Would anybody like to be there? Ms. Pam?
Cindy McNulty, 195 West Main Street. I brought my friend Letitia in here. She has a book, The Mayor Would Like to Change the Mayor Not Here. It's called STEM Education, and she's also current office.
Hi, everyone. I want to just thank you guys for all the work you do. You guys do a lot of amazing things. This is my first time being here and just learning about the procedure, the budget and everything. I guess the citizens, we get to enjoy all these stuff without knowing the back end of what you guys go through to give us that kind of peace of mind. So thank you guys. My family and I are new here in Westminster. We moved here in 2019 and then the pandemic and all that craziness. So we are getting to just enjoy and get used to our new home, our new community. I am a founder of a nonprofit organization called Expanding Boundaries International. And it started off as a study abroad project when I went to China as a college student. And throughout, my background is in cybersecurity. So when you're talking about IT stuff, I used to work at T. Rowe Price. So I've done policies and all those stuff, helping all of our big guys to be in compliance. So when it comes to NIST, FISMA, SOC, all those things, that has been my field. And so with all that, I have migrated all that knowledge to bring it back to the nonprofit part, helping our youth to understand careers in STEAM education. And so with science, technology, engineering, arts, and mathematics. One thing about what I have gained from being here, I'm from Ghana, West Africa. And so my first time even touching a computer was when I was 16 and I moved to the United States. So I have really gained a lot from American ingenuity and also the selfless people that have given to me when I was growing up here in PG and also in Montgomery County. And so with all that, it's just my way of giving back to the community or the nation that really embraced me as a lost kid with my parents here in Maryland. And so what we have been doing with the kids is they work with kids in Ghana and just to help them to understand that the workforce is very diverse and life after high school, when you go to college, that's where you really get to meet people from all over and you get really confused, you know? So they are working to embrace different culture whilst also diving themselves in project-based learning when it comes to STEM. So even this year, we are working on the agriculture industry. So they are gonna go to the agriculture farm and they are building a bridge because when it comes to food chain process, transportation is very, very important. And so out of that, we have published a book called 50 careers in STEAM education. And the book just gives students different job titles. Like we give them, when you see S, it means that it stands for science. And when you see E means engineering, so automotive engineer. And then it gives you what that job is about and why is it cool? Because our kids want to understand, why is this job cool for me to be able to contribute? So we teach our students that we're all here to contribute to our society, to our world. So why is it cool for you to be an automotive engineer? And then the skills that you need and also companies that you can see yourself working at. So that's what the book entails. So it gives you a picture and then it gives you a breakdown of the career and also why is it cool and then skills that you need and then companies that you can see yourself working at as you are growing up. So that's, thank you guys.
Thank you. I'm sorry, your name again?
Oh,
Your name again for the record?
yeah, so we need an office. We were meeting at the Westminster library. It was been amazing, but we were growing and the knowledge that we have, all our team members are all volunteers, including myself. And the knowledge that these people have, some of them work at the USDA. They have so much immense knowledge. They want to point in this case to have like a server, all these stations to teach the kids, but we've been limited. So we've gotten a space at the nonprofit center, but we have waiting lists. Now we have about 17 kids and the room can take literally 17 people. So we have to now have a waiting list. And we got a grant through the city of Westminster and the state of Maryland, the restoration grants. We've been approved, but we can't find a space. So we are begging if there's any possibility for us. And the grant is very, very specific. It has to be on Main Street. So that's what it's like our hands are tied. Thank you, guys.
Thank you. I'm sorry, could you say your name for the record?
Okay, Letitia Note.
Yes, thank you. All right, thanks very much. All right, anyone else? Okay. Well, thanks everyone for joining us this evening. That concludes our agenda and the meeting. Once again, note that we'll be going to a closed session at the conclusion of the regular meeting and we will not be returning to the regular session. Our next